is Ubi Loco.
This is the video I said that we were going to send you. We finally are making it and finally getting it done. This is Mark. But before we go to tell you about how he's progressing now, we've got some pictures of when we had the sonogram done. We have that picture and the progression of my pregnancy. We thought maybe you'd be interested in seeing how I got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then we'll come on back. And there's some of Nan and Stacy in there holding Mark. And so I know you'll really enjoy it. So we'll be back after that.
Okay, February 26th, 1991. Here's the baby at 17 and a half weeks, babe?
Right, and here she weighs a half a pound.
1/2 a pound. We had the ultrasound done at St. Joseph's Hospital today.
And we saw the hands move a little bit and the feet. Saw the spine. You could see it really good. Saw the eye and it was in the socket. That's what the nurse said. She looked at the kidneys. And right now, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Oh, right now the baby's in a breech position. But she said that that should change, you know, a lot of times during the pregnancy. Because they move around a lot. And we thought that the baby was sucking its thumb, but it wasn't. It was just putting its hand up by its ear, the side of its head.
Go ahead and smile. Okay, so we got 17 and a half weeks today. You're starting your 5th month. In other words, you're 4 months pregnant right now.
4 months completely pregnant.
4 months completely pregnant.
And
all right.
Starting my 5th.
Okay, and let's see, let me put the date on here one time. That would be February 26, 1991.
Right.
Let's see to your tummy, babe.
Okay. Okay, this is what it looks like right now.
Alright, wait a minute. Yeah, hang on, we're going to have to get a zoom in on this one here.
Okay. Is that right?
Yep. Okay. That's the tummy, alright.
Yeah, yeah. And the technician could tell what the sex was, but we chose not to know right now, which is really frustrating. But Larry says for sure it's a boy because she could tell. And it's, I guess I did say it's a half a pound.
Yep, 1/2 pound.
And I have a new due date now. It was August 10th. Well, first of all, it started out to be August 7th. Then it was August 10th, and now it's August 1st. So that suits me just fine, getting closer and closer. I'd rather have that.
Okay, how many weeks now, honey?
I'm just started my 21st week.
Okay, so...
Actually, I'm completely 20 weeks.
And I think yesterday you were how many months?
I finished my 5th month. So
Okay.
5 months. And I just started my 6th month.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Let's see what the tummy looks like.
Okay.
Let's see here.
This is at 5 months.
That's at 5 months, and just starting to feel some kicking there. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Getting a little bit bigger there, sweets.
Yeah, we felt the kicking. I felt kicking for a few days now, but actually for a week. But last night we actually felt it with our hands.
Yeah, that's when I put my hand on your stomach and felt it a little bit.
Right, that was really something.
That was the first time I felt it last night. It was just a little bit of a kick there. I know you were feeling it quite a bit, but I felt quite a bit of a little kick there.
I know, it was definitely a kick.
Yeah.
That was really special.
Okay, here we are again. And you're about 6 months pregnant now, right?
6.5.
It's been just about 2 months since we've done this last. This is May 22nd, 1991 now. And we're saying about 6.5?
Right.
Okay. Hard to say how many weeks that would be.
It's 27.
27 weeks, okay. But anyway, it appears you've grown quite a bit since the last time. Let me zoom in a little bit on this.
Okay.
Let's See what kind of stomach. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, it looks like you're going a little bit there, sweetie. I can see a difference. Yeah, quite a bit of difference to tell you the truth. Looks like to me. And we're feeling quite a bit of kicking these days too.
A lot of kicking.
Yeah.
A lot of moving around too.
Didn't you say that this morning when you first woke up you noticed you seem sort of lopsided there?
My stomach, the left side of my stomach was protruding, and it was very evident that's where the baby was. But I feel a lot of that. A lot of them moving around, more so than the kicking. Right now.
Well, I can see a big difference here looking through the camera. Using a little bit different shot. Okay, here we are again. Have to excuse the voice this time. I'm just getting over a cold and I sound real nasal. Let's see, what we got, babe? About a little bit over 8 months now, 8 months and a week or so?
8 months, and then the first week of my 9th month.
First week of your 9th month, okay.
We just finished the birth work classes.
Yeah.
They were real interesting, and I'm really glad that we went.
Yeah. Got the baby CPR to go to next week, and that'll be just about it. Taking those classes over at Women's Hospital where the baby's going to be born at.
Right now, I'm interviewing pediatricians to see which one that we're going to go with.
Well, we'll get a side shot here. Go ahead and turn around the side. I'm going to zoom on in on your tummy there.
Let me do this, and this way I might be able to form the stomach.
Yeah. I better back up some. That's a pretty massive stomach now. You're getting much bigger, honey. There's no doubt about that.
I'm carrying low, and I'm spreading out. It's kind of low and wide.
So we'll see what that means later.
Yeah.
The experts have their ways of saying one thing, but we'll find out for sure in about a month or so. August 10th is still the due date, right?
Right, I switched around a few times, but it's August 10th. And I think it should be around that time or later.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and shut it off for this time. We'll come back in about a month or so. Maybe, as a matter of fact, we might better wait about 3 more weeks or so. We'll see what's what. But that's it for this time.
Bye-bye.
Okay, it's now early August, and just 2 days ago, on August 2nd, 1991, Mark Benjamin Tyner was born here at Humana Women's Hospital. This is about a stone's throw away from Tampa Stadium and Tampa Bay Mall, just off of Dale Mabry. And we're going to go up and see how mom and baby are doing. They should be doing fine. And here we are, mom and baby. Say something, Mom.
Okay, this is Mark. This is Mark Benjamin.
He's our big little boy.
Born August 2nd. 6:12 p.m. in the afternoon. Oh, there he's opening his eyes.
There we go. What are we doing here, Mark? Can we give us some eyes here? He was 6 pounds and 14 ounces when he was born. And he's got big hands and big feet. Yeah.
And he's 19 3/4 inches.
Yep. A big little boy. Yeah. Got a great disposition too. Although he was a little bit too sleepy to please Mommy yesterday.
Yesterday he slept and he wouldn't eat.
This is the second day after delivery here now. This is Sunday the 4th, and he was born on Friday night, Friday evening.
And he's eating a lot better today.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, he was just wanting to sleep too much yesterday. But he's coming around today. Even if he doesn't want to open his eyes for us right now.
We've been trying, waiting for the doctor to be discharged so we can leave.
Yeah. Well, we're not impatient to do that now, are we? Yeah. Well, Mark, we'll get some more shots of you, boy, when you want to open your eyes up. We'll catch you a little bit later on. Okay, now we're looking around. Yeah. Hey, Mark. He's looking around and checking out. Yeah, he's awake and alert today. Yesterday he didn't want to eat very much at all. Today he's coming around.
He's just like Larry.
Oh, I don't know about that, hon. Mostly looks like a cute little baby right now.
Hiccups.
Oh, just like Daddy.
Just like Daddy. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, poor little guy. Oh. Hang on there, Mark. You'll be okay, boy. Okay, going home. Okay, it's August 7th, and Mark's been home from the hospital now for a few days. Seems to be doing pretty good.
Say hi, Daddy.
Yeah.
He doesn't open his eyes all the time.
Oh, he's going to yawn, though.
He's still sleepy.
Yes, he is. Oh, going to make some noise, too. Yeah, unfortunately, he's sleeping most of the time during the day now. However, at nights, it's another story. We know his lungs work real good. He's got a voice.
As soon as he switches days and nights, he'll be a good baby. He's a good baby now.
Yeah, go ahead, Stacy.
I know.
Oh, I think you
Nobody
can handle it.
now.
I think you can handle it.
Just put your arms down.
Just hold him careful and that'll do it.
See? How about that? That wasn't too bad, was it?
Oh. Gee, Mark, I wish you'd wake up some, boy. Yeah.
What is this right here? Oh.
And he got his pampers. At least we know he can sleep well, right?
Yeah, we know he can sleep well. He only does that during the daytime, though. Yeah, that's a good sized foot. For a foot, that's a pretty good sized little foot. Got pretty good sized hands, too.
Tall, huh?
A little bit dry right now on his hands and feet, but that's going to change pretty soon. The doctor says he's going to start getting more oil in his skin pretty soon. So we'll see a little bit more instead of these little white flaky hands. Mark, you going to open your eyes, son, boy? You going to open your eyes? You do that? Come on. Come on. Woo. Let me see if I can get the focus straightened out. There we go. Well, Mark.
Daddy, you're going to have to come 11 o'clock tonight.
Daddy's going to have to.
2:30 in the morning.
That's right.
He will open his eyes for you, I promise. He's such a good baby.
Have the Tyner family?
Here we are. Come on, Mark. Keep those eyes open, boy.
Mark is 9 days old today.
That's right. He's a big boy.
He's a beautiful boy.
Say hi.
There he goes, waving to the camera.
All by himself.
Look at him. Tell us how Mark does at night, Mary.
Oh, he's just wide awake.
Yeah, he's not usually this wide awake during the daytime.
Maybe he'll sleep tonight.
Very strange. He likes to eat, that's for sure. Which is good.
That's sweet.
That's fine with me.
He's pretty well behaved, baby. He doesn't cry all that
Yes.
much. Except when company comes over.
Yeah. No, he really is good.
He's done well with it. At least has a nice cry. Could be a screech.
It should be a piercing cry, right?
Sure good.
We think he's top of the line all the way around, actually.
He really is. He's been crying, I guess, all day long. I guess, I don't know.
This is no Kmart baby.
That's right. That's right.
Just kidding, Kmart.
Every time I get the camera close on him, he waves.
Very good, good. Attaboy.
You want to smile? Show him little pretty dimples?
It comes in Missy to jump up and down and make you laugh.
I think he's into that for some reason.
I'll be going to that for some reason.
Oh, there we go.
Wait, what? Okay. We hear you, boy.
This is the way Mark tells us he's hungry.
Wake up, guy.
I'm ready to go feed him.
Okay. What do you think, Mark? Want to open those eyes?
Are you hungry? Yeah, tell Mommy, don't waste time. Let me just eat, huh? Huh? Let me just eat. We really enjoyed it. We enjoyed making it a lot. And when I found out I was pregnant, I told Larry, I said, I think that we really need to get a video camera because it would really be worth our while.
The idea was we wanted to see him, his first steps. We wanted to get him when he was just starting to talk, and just sort of see him as he progresses along. And he's starting to smile a little bit now, but mainly it's just a sort of a mouth reaction right now. He's not really aware of his smiling yet, I don't think.
But it looks so cute, and we love it every time he does it, so.
Well, let's get some close-ups
Yeah,
here.
we have to hurry up before he starts crying.
Let's see.
Okay. Say hi to say Mom.
Whoop. Let me slip this off the tripod real quick here. Maybe I will. Oops, let me lift her up. There we go. Okay, hold that yawn, boy. Hold that yawn.
Say hi.
What you think, Mark?
Say hi to your great-grandmother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, show her how big you are.
Yeah, was he 8 pounds and 14 ounces today?
Yeah, we went to the doctor's today, and he's 8'14", so he gained 2 pounds in a month. And he's now 21 and a quarter inches, so he's grown
He's a big boy.
since he's been with us. But if we can get him to do some smiling and everything, he's got brown hair and green eyes, and he keeps us awake at night. That's his fun thing.
Yeah, he's pretty well behaved though, although the past couple nights he's been kind of bad. He woke us up a little bit early the past few days too.
Yeah, I usually end up being on the couch.
Now, Mark.
Anyway, the doctor said he's doing real good, and I'll probably breastfeed him until when he gets, after 3 months, I'll probably go on the bottle. It's kind of demanding breastfeeding. But
Mark, let's get right on in here, boy. Let me see if I can get in without making a big shadow on you. What you think, guy? What you think about Mark?
Look at that, how he put his hand up there.
Yeah, a few days ago he had his pacifier up, and he seemed to be holding it in there with his hand. We don't know if he was really doing that or not. And let's see, today when you came out of the doctor's office, didn't he put his hand up to protect himself from the sun? Or?
Yeah, it looks like he put his hand right over his eyes to shade his eyes from the sun. That's what he was doing now on purpose, I don't know. But
that's what it looked like.
Of course, we all like to think our kids are geniuses.
Yeah.
He's 25 days old today.
Yeah.
So.
That's it, boy. Say something.
Yeah.
Just something friendly, that's all. Oh, now. Let's not go putting a bad face on. Oh. Well, this is what he's pretty good at here lately.
Okay, you get to hear a chance to hear him cry.
Yeah. He's got a healthy cry, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Oh, and he can sleep real good too when he wants to. Mainly during the daytime, though.
So I guess you can write and tell me who you think he looks like. I don't think he looks anything like me, but I think he looks a lot like Larry.
I think right now he just looks mainly like a little baby. We'll know more later on.
I hope Teresa's doing real good with Michelle. And congratulate Peter for me in his upcoming event. That's great. It's good news. Dad really gets a kick out of him. Every time he sees him, he just loves to just sit and watch him. And they're like babies. Well, he wants dinner again.
What do you think, Mark? Just about dinner time again? There we go. It's calming right down. It's not as tough as all that, is it, Mark?
If we can just get you to smile. Daddy can get you to smile better than I can.
Well, I don't know. Sounds like tragic times right now to me.
Okay. He kind of had a crying fit there for a while, and I don't know, I think maybe he was sleepy. It's kind of hard to know why he's crying anymore. Either he's hungry or he's sleepy, so we fed him and he was still crying, so I think maybe he's sleepy. I hope you enjoyed that last part. This is going to be great when he gets older and he's able to see and hear what he sounded like too. And at the end of this tape, we have a videotape that we bought when we were at the Smoky Mountains. And it's the Appalachian Mountains and Smoky Mountains. You might enjoy it. It's interesting. It's kind of nice scenery.
Something to fill out the rest of the tape with, so we wouldn't have blank tape after this anyway.
Right. There's a lot of blank tape after this, so I guess it's better than nothing. So anyway, I want you to see him again, but
let's try again, Mark.
He might try his, yes, he is. Yeah. Okay, well, till the next video, love you, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Early morning mist cloaks the lovely forests and native wildlife of the Appalachian Mountains. Entering this primeval world, nature turns back the clock to an earlier time when pristine forests covered the eastern third of our country. Here, man carved a place out of the wilderness for his family. This is the story of 3 national park areas, each unique, yet sharing a special continuity of Appalachian culture and highland wilderness. Spanning over 600 miles through 3 states, they are the Great Smoky Mountains, Blue Ridge Parkway, and Shenandoah. $200 million years ago, powerful geological changes within the Earth began the formation of the Appalachian Mountains. Eventually, they would become a towering range larger than the Alps or Rockies. They extended the entire length of the eastern United States from New England to Alabama. As eons of time passed, they were gradually reduced by erosion and other forces of nature until they reached their present-day form of gently rolling ridges, domes, and valleys. The forests of Appalachia are the stuff from which legends are made. Great Smoky Mountains National Park is a wildland sanctuary, preserving the world's finest examples of temperate deciduous forests. There are over 100 different species of trees in the Smokies alone. Entering the park from Tennessee at Gatlinburg, your first stop should be the main visitor center at Sugar Land, where interpretive exhibits and park rangers will help you better understand and enjoy this magnificent wilderness. West from Sugar Land, the forested trail to Laurel Falls is graced with mountain laurel with bright flowers blooming in mid-May. These falls tumble down from Cove Mountain and eventually become a part of Little River, whose sparkling clear waters, like hundreds of others in the Smokies, are as pure as any streams found in the United States. A cove is a small valley, and the best known and most historic in the Smokies is Cades Cove. Located in the western portion of the park, it's a beautiful, level valley surrounded by hills and mountains on all sides. Bountiful wildlife is also found in Cades Cove, as well as in the hills and mountains of the park. This colorful pileated woodpecker is found throughout the region. It forages for grubs on the forest floor, as well as in the trees. About 12,000 years ago, the region of the Appalachians was populated by thousands of large mammals, including the saber-toothed tiger, mastodon, and the giant ground sloth, which grew as large as a rhino. But those Ice Age species are gone now, and the bear is the largest animal found here today. But this 11-mile loop road will carry you back to a bygone era. The primitive Baptist church was organized about 1830. Church was the spiritual and social center for many pioneers. Here among the gravestones, you'll find hints of life as it once was. The nearby Methodist church featured two doors, one for women, the other for men. A few miles to the west is the fascinating Cable Mill area. This is the center of the cove's activity. The Gregg Cable House was built in 1879 and may have been the first frame house in Cades Cove. White settlers arrived in the valley in 1819, and by 1850, the population had peaked with over 600 residents. The Cable Mill area is an open-air museum of early pioneer life. Large cantilever barns were common, offering shelter to livestock and farm equipment. The exhibits inside Cades Cove Visitor Center offer insight into rural mountain life around 1900. Corn was an important staple in the life of the pioneer. Its grain, stalks, and foliage fed man and beast alike, and it was used for a variety of foods. But first, it had to be ground into meal. Powered by water, John Cable's corn mill was one of several important ones here. John's son Jim continued to operate it into the 20th century. John diverted local streams into a log dam that fed the water wheel from a wooden flume. The Dan Lawson place was built around 1856 on land he purchased from his father-in-law, Peter Cable. The house features some of the best craftsmanship in the park, including a rare brick fireplace. The outbuildings included a corn crib, a granary for wheat, barns, and a smokehouse. Tipton's place was built shortly after the Civil War. In 1820, this was frontier country, and many of the houses reflected the skills brought into the mountains by descendants of British and European immigrants. The farm included a smokehouse, woodshed, and a double-pen corn crib. The farm also features a replica of a cantilever barn built by the Park Service in 1968. It is similar to the original that stood on the site. The Carter Shields cabin is one of the many original structures built in Cades Cove. These are among the finest collections of log houses in America. Cades Cove is not just about culture. There's an enjoyable nature trail found here, and a trail near the west end of the cove that heads to one of the park's most inspiring natural features. Winding through cool forests, the quiet is soon broken by an unmistakable sound. Abrams Falls. Abrams is one of the larger waterfalls within the park. Reached by an invigorating 5-mile round trip, it's a worthwhile adventure. Its roaring water plunges over the spectacular rock cliff into a deep, beautiful pool below. Trout fishing is excellent here and in Abrams Creek. A stroll down the trails of the Smokies lets you discover the intimate details of the forests. Thanks to frequent rains and plenty of warm sunshine, some 1,500 species of flowering plants display their blooms here. The April wildlife pilgrimage is the pinnacle display. But because of the Smokies' varied elevations, plants bloom from March through October as spring marches up the mountainsides. The Appalachian mountain region is referred to by botanists as the vegetation cradle of eastern North America. Here in these prime, undisturbed areas, wildflowers bloom in dazzling profusion. The locals have colorful names for many of them. Bleeding Heart, Fairy Wand, Hearts Bustin' with Love, Coreopsis, American Holly, Solomon Seal, Purple Rhododendron. This pink spider seems to indicate that even the insects are affected by their colorful surroundings. Forget-me-nots are plentiful, as are the colorful foxglove. The yellow poplar tree grows to a height of as much as 120 feet and is one of the most beautiful hardwood trees of the East. It's commonly known as the tulip tree because of its beautiful tulip-like blossoms. Its straight, tall trunks made it the pioneers' preferred tree for building cabins. The pioneers also used the durable wood of the dogwood tree for a multitude of demanding uses, such as gear teeth. Dogwood is not only found in the valleys, but also in the higher elevations, such as Balsam Mountain. Here, the climate is cooler and wetter. The nature trails are superb, and in the spring, the fields and woodlands erupt in a riot of color. The trail to Flat Creek Falls is about 3 miles round trip and is well worth the effort. The falls themselves sluice down over the wide face of a huge section of rock. Near Gatlinburg is the Roaring Fork Motor Trail, and Noah Bud Ogle built this cabin here, which dates from 1879. Mountain life was hard, but Noah and his wife Cindy raised a large family on his 400-acre rock-strewn farm. As you travel along this winding road, the forest will close in around you, spreading over the roadway, creating a feeling of serenity far apart from the bustle of nearby Gatlinburg. This is a special place, hidden away, a wilderness within a wilderness. Unchanged from an earlier time when a few dozen pioneer families struggled to eke out an existence in an extraordinarily beautiful but often unforgiving environment. Through an occasional break in the forest canopy, you can catch a glimpse of the Smokies with their clinging blue haze of moisture. The Trillium Gap Trail journeys 1.5 miles through old-growth hemlock forests to beautiful Grotto Falls, and then on to Mount LeConte. There's abundant wildlife here, not only deer, but bear, groundhog, fox, raccoon, chipmunk, and countless other mammals and reptiles. The gently climbing trail is constantly within the hemlock forest. Some trees reach world record sizes of 5 to 6 feet in diameter. The plant life in Roaring Fork is lush and green. The reason is water. There is none better. It is clear, cold, and pure. There are few places where water is displayed as well. Certainly one of these is Grotto Falls. Continuing along the trail, you may come upon a llama pack train on its way to LeConte Lodge, located atop Mount LeConte. Ephraim Bales built this cabin in 1865. He was a farmer who, with his wife and 9 children, lived crammed into this small 2-room house. He owned 70 acres of woods, but cultivated only 30 of them. The rest was saved for wood, for cooking, heating, and construction. The road today follows portions of the old wagon road dating from about 1850. Travel was hard, and no one went anywhere unless he really needed to. Thanks to the foresight of the National Park Service, this primitive area still remains in its natural state, a place that many wish to return to again and again. One of the high points of a visit to the Great Smokies is traveling the Newfound Gap Road. A view of the chimney tops in spring and in fall gives you a peek at the exciting seasonal changes here. Along the road, the vistas are impressive. At an elevation of 5,048 feet, Newfound Gap Overlook is one of the most popular in the park. It is at the crest of the Trans Mountain Highway and offers outstanding views to the north and south. The world-famous Appalachian Trail crosses here at the Gap. Stretching 2,000 miles from Georgia to Maine, it runs 70 miles through the park and reaches its highest point here in the Smokies. We will visit it again as we travel north. A 7-mile side road leads to Klingman's Dome, where this striking observation tower can be reached via a steep, winding half-mile trail. At 6,643 feet, it is the highest point in the Smokies and the 3rd highest peak in eastern America. 16 peaks soar above 6,000 feet within the park. From it, the visitor is offered a panoramic 360-degree view. The Great Smoky Mountains get their name from the perpetual blue haze that clings to the mountains and settles in the valleys. The haze is mainly from the moisture in the air. On a warm summer day, a tree can give off as much as 900 gallons of water into the air, and a shower can develop at any time. Farther south, the road reaches picturesque Oconaluftee Valley. The pioneers arrived here in the late 1700s. They sought reliable water and food supplies, built their homes, fought, and negotiated with the Cherokees. The Park Service has preserved a pioneer farmstead with a collection of authentic structures and artifacts. But more importantly, it has recreated a living museum, an experience in yesteryear for all to learn from and enjoy. This was one of the finest early dwellings constructed in the Smokies. It was built by John E. Davis, a master craftsman, with the help of his two sons. This living exhibit, where pioneer life continues today, features a variety of structures, farm animals, and gardening. Pioneer artifacts are displayed at the visitor center. Fishing and camping are excellent at Deep Creek, which is located to the west of Oconaluftee Cove. Lovely Indian Creek Falls is found here. Over 600 miles of trout streams are located within the park. Great Smoky Mountains National Park boasts of unspoiled forests similar to those found by the continent's earliest adventurers. Its elevation changes, fertile soil, and abundant rainfall support a vast variety of flora and fauna. The Smokies are a wild, primitive preserve with rich links to a human past that draws the visitor back again and again. A sunrise over the Blue Ridge Mountains is much the same as one over the Smokies. Vast forests, scenic grandeur, mountain culture, multi-hued ridges, but the difference is a road. A magnificent highway, 470 miles in length, rides the crest of 6 ranges of the southern Appalachians, giving us a glimpse of the culture and history of the mountain people. This is the Blue Ridge Parkway, our nation's longest national park area. The Blue Ridge is indeed quite different from the Smokies and Shenandoah. It is a recreational motorway, a man-created park. Here atop Water Rock Knob, at the southern extremity of the park, you can see the road and the beauty that surrounds it. Traveling north brings us to Richland Balsam Mountain, named after the once abundant Fraser fir or she balsam trees. At Richland Balsam, the parkway reaches its highest point at 6,503 feet. An insect infestation has destroyed much of the beautiful balsam forests in the area. The Devil's Courthouse is a bare rock summit, rugged in profile and well-deserving of its name. This is where the devil still holds court, according to legend. Appropriately named Looking Glass Rock reflects the sunlight when wet. The parkway is well marked with interpretive signs and mile markers that the visitors can use as location references. 5,749-foot Mount Pisgah towers above the parkway. The recreation area here includes Mount Pisgah Inn, where the wilderness is enhanced by a place to call it a day, relax, and have a leisurely meal. The French Broad River was a long-standing trade route dating back to the days of colonial fur trade with the Cherokee, and remained so up until the 20th century. One of the highlights of a Blue Ridge Parkway tour is a visit to the Folk Art Center in Asheville. Here, tens of thousands of visitors come to admire the beauty of mountain handcrafts from the rich culture that produces them. You can watch and learn from the craftspeople at work, or see folk dancing and hear folk music in the auditorium. The Folk Art Center is operated by the Southern Highland Handcraft Guild, whose primary aim is to carry on the craft tradition of the Southern Appalachians. Exhibitions of Guild members are displayed in the gallery, while in the center's museum, guests marvel at the simple but handsome lines of the settlers' handcrafted tools and artifacts. At mile 365 is spectacular Craggy Gardens, a 700-acre recreational area featuring lovely rhododendron gardens, hiking trails, and a picnic area. Mount Mitchell State Park is a welcome way stop on the Parkway. A natural history museum and facilities are available, and a nature trail leads through the mossy forests of spruce and balsam. The observation tower atop Mount Mitchell, at 6,684 feet, is the highest place in eastern America. Crabtree Falls is one of the more popular attractions along the Parkway. The trail that leads to the falls is lined with spectacular wildflowers in the spring. The Dancing Creek at the base is home to insect and amphibian alike. The surrounding area also features trails and visitor services. The Museum of North Carolina Minerals is one of many National Park visitor centers along the Parkway. Powerful Linville Falls is composed of an upper and lower falls. Linville Gorge, now a wilderness area, was formed over a vast period of time, ranging back to the age of the last dinosaurs. Today, it is still gouging and cutting, ever so slowly, into the hard rock of the gorge. The flame azalea is a gay and brilliant flowering shrub found throughout the Parkway. In 1933, President Franklin Roosevelt approved the construction of the Blue Ridge Parkway. 54 years later, beneath Grandfather Mountain, the last link in the Parkway was completed, the Lynn Cove Viaduct. Rather than cut through the mountain, the viaduct was elevated above the fragile landscape and is considered an engineering marvel. Perhaps the finest scenic highway in the world, the Parkway now links countless natural and cultural wonders and two of our nation's great national parks. Alongside the Parkway is the popular Grandfather Mountain area, which features a host of recreational activities. There's an Appalachian wildlife preserve on top of the mountain. But this is not the only place to observe wildlife. The area's many hiking trails lead into pristine forests where numerous species of birds, reptiles, and mammals flourish, including the bear. Hiking and picnicking are a popular pastime here. Along the Parkway, you're never far from an overlook where you can behold a scenic panorama of the valleys and ridges below. Beautiful Price Lake in Julian Price Memorial Park is a favorite spot for the visitor looking for outdoor enjoyment. In the late 1800s, the mountains of North Carolina were a popular resort area for the wealthy. The Moses H. Cone Manor is typical of the elaborate estates of this era. The grounds, with its trails, gardens, carriage roads, and craft center, are now part of the Parkway. The Daniel Boone Trail crosses the Parkway near mile marker 285. Boone was commissioned to cut the trail, and it proved to be instrumental in opening the West. A few miles north, the visitor will discover charming Cascade Nature Trail. It winds its way through forests of oak and hickory with jungle-like growths of rhododendron and mountain laurel. The Cascades are delightful. The historic Northwest Trading Post is typical of how the mountain culture has been preserved along the Parkway. Its shelves contain the homemade products of nearby residents and neighboring counties. Doughton Park is a 6,000-acre recreation area. 1,500 feet below was once an isolated mountain community. A rare hurricane in 1916 wiped out most of the settlement. Only the lonesome, weathered cabin of Martin Caudle remains today. He and his family typified the self-sufficient mountain folk of the Appalachians. Doughton Park was named in honor of Congressman Robert Lee Doughton. He was a staunch friend of the Parkway. In this area, dense stands of rhododendrons, blueberry, huckleberry, and other shrubs form a heath garden. Doughton Park provides complete visitor services with picnic areas, a rustic lodge, coffee shop, crafts, and other services. A number of trails lead into the mountains and open meadows of the area. One of the best preserved pioneer homes along the Parkway is the Brinniger cabin at Doughton Park. Martin Brinniger founded his farm about 1880. He built his house in 1885 and raised a family. The Brinnigers, like most mountain people of their day, had very little cash, but needed little as they were pretty much self-sufficient. They raised a few $100s a year by selling crops such as herbs, which they gathered in the forest. These included bloodroot, mayapple, snake root, alum root, and the bark of wild cherry. These were sold to merchants in the valleys below. Although the entity of the Blue Ridge was created with the construction of the Parkway, a vital part of it existed long before with the mountain folk and their culture. Today, many of their descendants live and farm here. So, life goes on much as it did centuries ago, and there are still places along the Parkway where costumed interpreters recreate those bygone days. Today, outdoor recreation is one of the most enjoyable activities on the Parkway. Cumberland Knob is where construction on the Parkway first began. and it was the first recreation area to be opened. Today, it is a mountain park with picnics, baseball, horseshoes, and many other outdoor activities. This is the last North Carolina stop before entering Virginia. The Parkway in Virginia still reflects the agricultural roots of the pioneers that settled here. Orlena Puckett's gift was kindness and love. She was a midwife and delivered over 1,000 babies. This cabin, built in the 1870s by husband John on Groundhog Mountain, serves as her monument. This is a stake and rail fence. There are several types of pioneer fences displayed on Groundhog Mountain. They include the snake rail fence, which was the easiest to build but required the most rails, and the buck fence, least common of all rail fences. Groundhog Mountain also has an excellent park ideally suited for picnics and play. Of all the attractions on the Parkway, Mabry Mill may be the best loved by visitors. It most certainly will be your most educational stop. In 1910, Ed Mabry began to build his blacksmith shop, grist mill, and sawmill. Today, they illustrate how mountain communities often depended upon a single man's ingenuity to produce many of the necessities of life. The mill is still operated from time to time. Its great water wheel continues to turn now as then, when Uncle Ed used its power to mill flour and run his sawmill. Children and adults alike are fascinated by glimpses of an earlier way of life. The craftsmanship of those self-sufficient times are displayed here for us to see and marvel at. The Mabry Mill shops here offer crafts from the area. In the fall, local residents put on festivals and demonstrations to celebrate the traditions of mountain folkways, making sorghum and apple butter. Once cooked, the apple butter is bottled and sent to market. Others perform skills of carpentry, leather tanning, and wood carving. A visit to Mabry Mill gives the visitor an insight into the use of these skills and the self-sufficiency of the people who used them. A self-guiding trail takes you through the Mabry Outdoor Museum, where you can see the tools and equipment used by the early mountain folk, many of them made right here. When the locals gather for some old-fashioned mountain music, the visitor's in for a real treat. Clog dancing has been practiced here in the southern Appalachians since early times, and it's great to watch the young and old alike enjoying the festivities. Moving northward, the elevation of the Parkway drops steadily. This ensures a prolonged succession of flowering plants and shrubs during the spring and summer season. Modern farming is still found along the Parkway. And mountain humor is still evident, too. At mile marker 86, the visitor arrives at another of the major attractions of the Parkway, the Peaks of Otter. This is a splendid resort with complete visitor services, nestled in a beautiful valley and guarded by the twin peaks of Otter. The resort offers a relaxing getaway. Both peaks have an elevation of about 4,000 feet. The area features an amphitheater, great hiking trails, living history demonstrations, fishing, and a visitor center museum. The Johnson Farm, which began as a homestead in 1850, has been restored to the way it appeared in the 1920s and 30s, a time when Peaks of Otter was especially thriving. Callie Johnson Bryant and her husband Jason farmed the land settled by her grandfather. Nearby stands a simple mountain cabin that was built in the early 1800s. It was operated as an inn or ordinary from 1830 to 1850. The trail to lovely falling water cascades is located at mile marker 83. Its beauty is framed by a maze of rhododendrons. The Parkway winds its way through dense stands of flowers and forest, past tranquil lakes and peaceful scenes. The James River, an important transportation link in earlier times, originates in the Alleghenies, cuts through the Blue Ridge, and flows to the Atlantic. Although there are 26 tunnels along the Parkway, only one, the Bluff Mountain Tunnel, is located in Virginia. Stopping at mile marker 34 at Yankee Horse Ridge, you can see the last remnants of an old logging railroad that was built around 1915. Just a short hike up the trail is pretty Wigwam Fall. Raven's Roost is the land of the raven, where the jet-black birds soar above the sharp escarpments and the wild forests below. Rock climbers and hang gliders find this area to their liking also. Our last stop is Humpback Rock's Pioneer Exhibit and Museum, near the Parkway's northern end. It is typical of an isolated highlands farmstead. Most of the structures here were built around 1880 and are authentic. Indeed, we have just touched upon the Blue Ridge Parkway. To truly discover its character, take the time to explore the mountain communities along its 470-mile length. It is beauty and grand vistas, but it is especially the people and culture of the Appalachian Highlands. The story of Shenandoah National Park is unique in the history of our national park system. Its pristine wilderness was largely stripped and destroyed by early settlers. It is a recycled park, so called because the land was reclaimed from private interests and most signs of man were removed. Now it is returning to its natural state, to a wilderness full of life and the intimate details of nature. Look closely and see more than grand vistas. For the visitor, beautiful Skyline Drive is the heart of Shenandoah. Near the southern entrance to the park is the Doyles River Trail. Here, notice the little details of nature as the trail meanders along gentle cascades. Skyline Drive winds its way along the Blue Ridge for 105 miles. Here, a special world of wild forests, gentle mountains, and secluded hollows await the adventurer. The park is over 190,000 acres with approximately 500 miles of trails. It has many visitor facilities, including campgrounds, visitor centers, and lodges to accommodate those that come to see the beauty and enjoy the tranquility. Miles of the 2,000-mile-long Appalachian Trail parallels Skyline Drive. It is plainly marked, and there's no greater joy for children than to take them into the backwoods, letting them observe the plants, the trees, and above all, the life forms of the forests. Like this many-legged millipede. Or this browsing deer. Camp Hoover remains much the same as it did in the early 1930s when President Herbert Hoover used it as a retreat, much as Camp David is used by presidents today. 3 of the original 13 buildings still stand and are open to the public a few times each year. Big Meadows is the center of park activities. Lodgings, a visitor center, and visitor services are available. Here on July 3, 1936, President Franklin Roosevelt dedicated the park with these words: "To this and succeeding generations of Americans for recreation and for the recreation that can be found here." Big Meadows is a broad 5-square-mile plateau and is one of the most unusual habitats in the park. The Big Meadow was first seen by John Lederer, a colonist of German descent, in 1669. It appears that this series of large meadows have existed here since prehistoric times. Perhaps cleared by Indians or a large fire, the white man has sustained them since. Over 100 species of birds are found in Shenandoah. Deer are the most frequently seen wildlife in the park. Other wildlife that reside in this gentle mountain wilderness include raccoon, opossum, bear, fox, bobcat, chipmunk, gray squirrel, and many others. It's interesting to note that most of these animals had disappeared from the area and have now returned since the forests have been restored. In the summertime, you can enjoy an old-time wagon ride or horseback riding. Rangers are here to answer questions and explain the ecology and environment of Shenandoah. Dark Hollow Falls is one of the highest and most interesting in the park. It is also the closest to Skyline Drive. Its beauty lies in its gentle cascades that frolic and tumble down from 80 feet above, with countless small waterfalls embedded in its flow. Water is the key life-giving element here, sustaining the rich flora and fauna, the animals, insects, even the mosses. During heavy autumn storms, the once placid falls roar with torrents of water. Due to rising thermals produced by the Blue Ridge, hot air ballooning is a popular pastime in the valley. Mile marker 42 reaches the highest point of Skyline Drive, 3,680 feet. Numerous trails in this area include the Stony Man Nature Trail. To hike the Limberlost Trail is to discover the inspiring solitude of nature. Stands of hemlock line the path, and a variety of lively ferns carpet the forest floor. Patterns in trees, patterns in leaves, small insects, dazzling wildflowers. Each has its own special place in nature's scheme. Mile marker 35 brings the visitor to Pinnacle's Overlook, where the reward is panoramic. Turkey vultures sail over ridges and countryside, riding the strong updrafts of the Blue Ridge Mountains. They are large blackbirds that have a head that resembles a turkey. The Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia have been known and honored since early times, even in song. They evoke visions of simple beauty and serene grandeur, which is in fact what the park is all about. Mary's Rock Tunnel is 610 feet in length and was constructed in 1932. The wild turkey is common here and sometimes may even be seen on Skyline Drive. Now that the vast forests of Shenandoah are nearly restored, it is ironic indeed that a new threat has appeared that may destroy much of the great oak and other hardwood forests of the Blue Ridge. It is an invasion by the gypsy moth and its caterpillar form. The insect was accidentally introduced into the country in New England in 1889. It has continued to spread since that time and now has reached northern Virginia. It is expected to continue to spread down the Appalachians. Eventually, it will be present in all forests containing preferred tree species. The young caterpillars, or larvae, lower themselves on silken threads and are easily carried by strong spring winds throughout the forests. The caterpillar has several stages, and the late stages are responsible for approximately 70% of the destruction. They denude the trees year after year until the tree eventually dies. They are hairy, brown or black, and have 6 pairs of legs. A lowly cinchworm decides to join the parade. The caterpillars develop into a reddish-brown pupa, up to 1 inch in length. This stage lasts from 10 to 17 days. Exotic predator insects may offer some control, but only to the extent of keeping low populations stable. The newly emerged gypsy moth soon produces new eggs and the cycle begins again. But not all insects are destructive. The cabbage butterfly is an enjoyment to those who watch them fluttering about. There are many species of butterflies here, including the colorful monarch, the tiger swallowtail, the beautiful black swallowtail, and bees do their usual thing. During the summer, park rangers give interpretive talks throughout the park. For visitors, the most fascinating are those dealing with the birds of prey. These birds have all been injured and are being nursed back to health. Wildlife, wherever it is seen, is always a stopper for visitors. Many of the overlooks bear quaint mountain names, such as Hogback Ridge, and Gimlet Ridge. Late spring is one of the most popular times of the year in Shenandoah. Mountain laurel and azaleas line Skyline Drive and fill the fields and woods, making a perfect backdrop for picnicking, driving, and exploring. The first people began using the Blue Ridge about 7000 BC. The first Europeans saw the ridge probably in the early 1600s, and by the 1850s, the farmers were moving into the highlands in force. Men depleted much of the ridge by overuse, but in the last 40 years, nature has now replaced 95% of what man destroyed, and Shenandoah is once again a land of nature, where the wind whispers through the trees and the bird songs are cloaked only by the sounds of running water, falling rain, and the softness of falling snow. Fall is a special time for all the southern Appalachians. It is the most popular time of the year for all 3 national parks, and for good reason. The beauty of the fall colors is simply overwhelming. And the cold rains of fall turn into the first snowflakes, and winter comes to the Appalachians. The national parks of the Appalachian Highlands are each different and unique. And yet there's a special continuity to it all. Their gently rolling mountains and ridges are capped with rich deciduous forests that are perhaps the finest in all of the world. Their pioneer past shares a common link in the mountain people of the Appalachians. Their common beauty is shared through a myriad of streams, enchanting wildlife, broad valleys, and secluded hollows. Perhaps they are not as different as we might think. More likely, it is the harmony of nature that one finds here. That is our common link, our cause for the human spirit to soar.